This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, how there, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, December the 15th, was a former general manager of the Montreal Canadiens, known for shrewd trades and just practically making things a lot easier for the Montreal Canadiens in the 60s and 70s and all that. He had many accolades and all of that that really made him the powerhouse, if you will, of the Montreal Canadiens. His name was Sam Pollack, born December 15th, 1925, in Montreal, Quebec. He was a keen evaluator of talent. He was on the Montreal Junior Canadiens and the Ottawa Junior Canadiens, winning the Memorial Cups in 1950 and 1958 as a scout. And the Habs saw him as a threat to be good and decided to let Sam Pollack become their main guy. Frank Selke was still in the Montreal office, but they didn't know how long he would have left. So Pollack was named personnel director from 1959 to 1964. And Selke would retire, and Sam Pollack would become GM of the Habs. So that was huge and all that. So anyway, he was huge as GM of the Habs between 1964 and 1978. Winning cups in 65, 66. Yeah, that's right. 65, 66, 68, 69, 71, 73, 76, 77, and 78. He decided to give up his famed GM spot in the summer of 1978, spending one last season with Montreal on their board of directors, and then decided to retire outright in 1979. His name was on the Stanley Cup 12 times, including 9 as general manager and 3 as personnel director. Pollack and Scotty Bowman not only presided over Canadiens dynasty, but many of those players actually had successful coaching and managing roles within their own teams. So anyway, Sam Pollack was iconic for the trades he made and for everything. Well, of course, yeah, personnel director, then VP/general manager for many years, and was part of the board of directors for the Habs 79 winning Cup. So he had 12 of them. He was inducted to the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1978 as a builder. He was named Order of Canada in 1985, and he actually was chairman and CEO of the Blue Jays from 95 to 2000. So that's a pretty impressive. He was actually the head of the Blue Jays from 95 to 2000 when the Blue Jays were starting to decline. He was there when the Jays were chasing in 98 and actually got Roger Clemens somehow in free agency. The 98 Blue Jays winning 88 games, that was the benchmark for a long time until, 2015 when they finally started to win a lot more? But anyway, yeah, the Blue Jays knew what to do. And Sam Pollack was there in a sense. Okay, the Blue Jays there. So yeah, so he did a great job. So it was shocking that he was general manager, and it was Irving Grundman. Now Scotty Bowman would be pissed, thinking that he was going to be the general manager of the Habs once Pollack moved on, but no, it was Grundman. So because of that, and because of bad feelings towards Grundman, Scotty Bowman decided to leave the Montreal organization and would go on to coach the Buffalo Sabres for a few years and then retire to become a color commentator on CBC Hockey Night in Canada broadcasts. Not the main one, but with mostly Dick Irvin when he was doing hot games. Yeah, Scotty Bowman would be the color commentator before he became a player personnel for the Penguins and then was stepped up to be head coach when Badger Bob Johnson died during the 91-92 season. So Bowman was made coach and won the Stanley Cup with the Penguins in 92 and went on to more year things. Nevertheless, Pollack was known for shrewdness. He believed drafting good young prospects was the key to long-term success in the NHL. To this end, he was always planning, sometimes years in advance, in order to be in position to pick up the cream of the crop. Macho Man Randy Savage. I am the cream of the crop. Dig it. I can't do Macho Man. But anyway, many shrewd trades were made and all that. So anyway, he made some moves. One big move was to trade 2 college prospects to the Bruins for a prospect of their own by the name of Ken Dryden. He was the goalie for Cornell and was a great college goalie. The Bruins picked him up and had him, and then he was traded to Montreal for a couple of players and all that. So that was just huge how he got the rights to Ken Dryden and slowly but surely brought him into the NHL. And then in 1971, he stole the Stanley Cup for the Habs. And not only that, he screwed Boston over in the first round of the playoffs when Boston had that great team with over 300 plus goals and they were looking to repeat as Stanley Cup champions, but they didn't. Pollack would make draft day trades to bring up people like Larry Robinson, Kitchener, Serge Savard, Guy Laplante, and Yvan Cournoyer. So he knew how to do it. However, his biggest entry draft trade was in 1971. He made some shrewd moves. The Habs wanted that number 1 pick in the 1971 draft because they knew Guy Lafleur would be coming for the Quebec League and would bring Montreal some credibility. Of course, the Quebec Nordiques were not around. Quebec City didn't really have a major league team, and the WHA snapped them up as a city. So the California Golden Seals, in their prosperity of bullshit, sucked. So a couple years earlier, the Habs decided to shrewdly trade the first round pick, Montreal's real first round pick in 1971, alongside Ernie Hick to the Seals for the first round pick, for the Seals pick in 1971, and Francois Lecomte. So that move was made a few years earlier, and it seemed like the Golden Seals were going to get it. But Montreal knew how bad the Golden Seals were and figured that if the Golden Seals were that bad and were the last place, then they knew they had the number 1 pick in 1971. So that's what he did. So he shrewdly moved it. But it wasn't just that. It was the fact that at the midway point of 70-71, the Kings were faltering. The LA Kings were faltering. So Montreal decided to shrewdly trade Ralph Backstrom, who was a backbone to the team for about a dozen years, to the Kings so that, Backstrom could help the Kings score more points than the Golden Seals, and then the number 1 pick would have to go to Montreal, by the way, California. It worked out. Well, Backstrom wanted to leave for the West Coast anyhow, but it worked out. So the Golden Seals had the number 1 pick. They were last in the NHL. Unfortunately, though, they had to trade that pick. Well, that pick went to Montreal, and Sam Pollack smiled before he made the pick of Guy Lafleur. Marcel Dion went second to the Detroit Red Wings. People forget about that. But there was also one major move that Pollack failed to do. The New York Islanders had sucked in their inaugural season of 72-73, even worse than the Atlanta Flames, and that's saying a lot. So the Islanders drafted Danny Potvin first overall in the 73 entry draft. Pollack would approach Torrey. He wanted Dennis Potvin, obviously for the French-Canadian population. Pollack's strategy was to offer a quick fix package of mature players for the top draft pick, knowing that the Islanders would benefit and would do much better. However, Bill Torrey, the GM, turned it down outright. And it worked. It actually worked out. Dennis Potvin would be a long-term asset to the Islanders, helping them win 4 Stanley Cups and being part of their blue line for 15 years. That was amazing how Sam Pollack were so close to getting Dennis Potvin and all that. I don't know if they ever said what the players were and all that. Yeah, Pollack knew what to do and all of that. So, oh, the identity of the players were never revealed. So, in essence, we don't know who Pollack would have given up to the Islanders to get Dennis Potvin. But it never happened, and the Islanders helped. But nevertheless, I mean, the Habs did win 4 Stanley Cups in the late 70s, though, so it didn't hurt them one bit. And they had the big three of Serge Savard, Gila Point, and Larry Robinson on defense, so it didn't matter. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.